Hey everyone, this is Josh from Fresh Start Customs coming to you today with the camera lid calibration. What we're going to do today is we're going to actually run through the brand new calibration test here. I've already done it on my other machine, so we're going to go ahead and run it through on this machine and show you guys how this is done. Looks like quite a bit of people already did it so far, but there's still a majority of the people who haven't done it or have been afraid to do it. So I'm going to walk you through the process here. It's pretty easy. My first machine, I did have something go wrong where it just got stuck, but no big deal. All I had to do was turn off the machine, flip the board over, peel the sticker off, and then restart the calibration on the other side, and then it went through no problems second time around. So hopefully we don't run into that this time, because obviously that's super annoying if you rip the sticker or something. So we'll go through this together. I hope this helps you guys out, and we'll just get started right off the bat. So first thing you want to do is go to community.glowforge.com, where I already am. And then in the search field, I already searched for it. You can just type in camera and then CAL, and the first one on the list right here. Introducing the new lid camera calibration. Click on that and it'll bring you right to this page, and then we're going to scroll through. You can read this if you want to. It basically says that it requires or recommends a draft board or any other clear piece of material that is 12 by 20 with no markings or stickers. But I would recommend doing it with draft board. That's what it was made for. That's what I'm going to use if you don't have it, but you can still do it. So essentially what we're going to do is scroll all the way down to this area right here where it says to start visit camera calibrator. I'm going to click on that. It's going to load up to here. It's going to tell you what to do. Make sure your chrome tray is flat. No particles, dimples in the dimples of the tray. You're going to wipe off your lenses. I already did all of this beforehand. You're going to make sure your piece of material is up here, and then there's two lines that meet right here. There's two black lips right here. It's hard to see in this picture because it's covered up, but what you're going to want to do is take your material all the way up to the very edge of this line, just over that first black area. That's what I did. I'm sure you could get away with it if you went just above it, but I matched it up right to that line because it seems like it worked best right there for me the second time around. So that's what I would recommend, but you don't have to do that. I'm sure you can still get away with it right on the very edge of that black edge there. And then what we're gonna do is I already put that in to save some time in this video and hopefully save some editing here. So we're going to ensure the lid is closed after you have made sure your tray and everything is clean. You wipe your lenses off and make sure that your edge of the material isn't over top of this black lip here. You should never have that over that lip regardless, or you're going to have issues cutting or engraving. So let's go ahead and get started. Since I got all that in place, we're going to hit continue. Whoops. There we go. And I already did it on this machine labeled Friday. Now I'm going to do it on this DBG 799. So we click on that one. If you only have one machine, it'll probably skip that process because you only have one machine there. So basically this is warning you again, make sure you have the QR code down and nothing is on top of the Glowforge. And the lid is completely closed. It just wants to make sure there's no added weight or pressure. I do have my microphone on top there, but I don't think it's going to affect it, but we'll see what happens here, and we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and get started here. All we're going to do is click Start Calibration, and we're going to flip to the Glowforge here, and as you can see, it lit up, and it's homing the laser like it always does when you first turn on the machine. So it's essentially placing where it thinks that it should go here, and then it's going to do a whole bunch of little Glowforge icons in a second here, and then recalibrate off of those icons. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and hopefully you guys can hear me through the process when it was running there and I didn't get cut off by the machine sound. And we'll talk to you as soon as this is all done. Alright, you guys, so as you could see, it said that it was focusing. That's why it went back over a second time. Now it's saying printing test pattern. So essentially it's going to tell you that it's going to take about 10 minutes to complete all the Glowforge symbols and to push the start button. I don't have my camera set up where I can show you the start button, but it's just glowing. Take my word for it. You're going to just push the glowing start button on your Glowforge. We'll get started and I'll see you when it's done. Alright, you guys, there you go. So that finished. Essentially what it did is it said that it was taking a picture. So it just took a picture of the image really quick. And right now it's saying it's taking measurements of the height of your material height. It says it can take up to 30 minutes depending on the strength of your Wi-Fi. So you want to make sure you don't lean or bump on the Glowforge or move your table. As you can see, it's already at 9%. It's going to go through and measure each one of these little pictures here. Looks like it jumps around a little bit to measure, but it's going to do that, and then it should have a recalibration setting after this. That's where it got stuck on my first time around, so we'll see how it goes for this second machine here. So I'll see you guys as soon as this is done measuring. It may take a little bit. We're only at 17% here, so talk to you in a little bit here. Alright, you guys, so this is where my first machine got stuck. Hopefully it doesn't do it this time. This does take a little bit time for it to go through on the processing measurement screen, and it's recalibrating. But essentially what I believe I read that this is waiting for is just approval from on Glowforge side to recalibrate the machine. So hopefully it goes through this time and I don't have to restart it all, flip it over, and go from there. So we'll wait this out, and I'll catch you guys here in just a second, and we'll go from there. Alright, as you guys can see, it says success. Calibration is complete. Should now see improved accuracy when aligning designs on the material. So essentially what we're going to do, it's telling you for the best alignment results to use the new set focus option, which is in the gear symbol. And it says if you want to confirm the new alignment, you can follow the process described here. So we're going to go ahead and click on that process. And right here it's going to tell you how to do it. Essentially, it's going to tell you to clean the cameras, which you've already done, hopefully. Reboot your Glowforge by turning the power switch off and then back on. Place a proof grade material in your Glowforge. Download this precision preview test pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and right click that, open it in a new tab here. And right there, it's downloaded right here. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, let's see, show it in a folder because I want to see where that is. Right here it is. Okay. We're going to go ahead and copy that. And we're going to minimize this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to minimize this as well. And we're going to paste it on our desktop just so we can find it a little bit easier there. So let's go ahead and open this back up. So let's go ahead and go to the next step. It says open the Glowforge app, upload the precision test pattern, place the precision test pattern near the top left corner, change it from cut to high quality score. Don't forget that one. I left it on cut, so I cut right through it. Click the gear icon, set focus, click the center precision preview test pattern, and then print precision preview test pattern, and then we're gonna wait for it to refresh afterwards. So I'm gonna go ahead and just follow these steps really quick. I'm gonna flip the switch on the back of the machine to turn it off here, just like it says. I'm gonna wait about 5 to 10 seconds here. And I flipped it back on. And of course, when you first turn on your Glowforge, it's gonna go through the centering process again, usually. We'll see if it does it here again. Sounds like it's starting up. And while we're waiting on that, I'm just going to go ahead and open up the Glowforge app, since I know everything else that we have to do here. And to get started, I'm going to go ahead and click Upload. I'm going to go to my desktop where we save this at, and right here is the Precision Preview. I'm going to click Open. And as you can see, you got this nice little preparing your design file here. And as you can tell, it's still centering my Glowforge head from the first time I turned on the machine. This may take just a little bit. So hopefully that'll pick up here. And there we go. It looks like it's almost done. And as you can tell, in the very top left corner is this little target thing. It looks a little bit different than when I originally did it. But honestly, this will save you a little bit of time instead of going around 3 times in a row. So now essentially, if you're new to the Glowforge, you may be using proof grade material with that little sticker here that auto detects. If you've never used this feature where you click unknown, whoops, sorry, I keep clicking right click there. You click on unknown, and then you can choose from a list of material what you want to use. And if you don't find it on that list, you're going to type it in. So this is medium draft board, and right there it is, medium draft board. I'm going to click select. So that way your machine knows it's medium draft board. I'm going to leave this right where Glowforge placed it at. Actually, it looks like it's just off the page there. So I'm going to zoom in and then move my hand over here. Yep, so it's just off the page. So let's go ahead and select that little tool here so you can select again, and we're going to highlight this whole area. And I'm going to move this, I'm actually going to use my arrow keys until it's in place. There we go. Probably go one up and one to the left. So that is literally the furthest to the left top corner that I can go. And on my other machine, when I did calibration and I did it this far out, just because I wanted to push the limits, it was off just by a little bit on the edges, and that's understandable. But anything from like within here on over in the center is pretty much dead on. So I'm hoping for that for this machine. And then make sure you come over here, click on this. Don't be like me on the first one. Change this to score and make sure it's on high quality there. So we can click off there. You'll see the word score if you did it right. I'm going to show you this awesome feature that if you already didn't know of, you're just going to highlight this, hold down the control button on your Windows computer, and then hit C for copy. And then you're going to hit Control and V for paste. And as you can see, I got a new little logo here for the test pattern. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this test pattern 5 times, just because I want to see how far off it is, if any, in all 4 corners here. So now that I zoomed out and you can see the whole page, I'm going to do this for all of the corners here, as far over as possible that I can get them, that it'll still engrave. I'm just going to go like right there, looks good. And then I'm going to highlight it and Control C and Control V again to paste it. And then we'll do it way over here too. Right there looks good to me. And I always Control C and Control V, that way I don't have to go all the way back over to the old image here. I'm gonna move this hand up a little bit so I can see where I'm placing this. There we go. So use my arrow keys and get this into place again. I think right about there is going to be as far over as possible. And then I'm going to do it one more time for dead center. That way we can see how close it is. Now this machine was very accurate before. I truly hope that it's as accurate as it was before. I'm going to go right on top of this Glowforge symbol. I don't think that's dead center. Actually, it might be. Let's see. Yeah, so that looks like it's the center one there, just from me eyeballing it. Could be off. But anyways, that's where I'm going to go, and we're going to test this out. So let's go ahead and print this out and get you guys on your way. Actually, you guys, I already messed that up. I'll show you why in just a second here. Normally I don't hit the cancel button just because I don't want it to mess up the alignment or the focus here. Not sure if it really does, so I'm just going to wait this out for the print. And then I'm going to cancel it. There we go. And that's why it's always nice to catch yourself. So essentially what they want you to do here is they want you to use this new gear symbol here. I'm still getting used to it here. And then you're going to click set focus. And what this is going to do is going to give you a crosshairs, and you're going to go dead center of your center one. I'm going to use the center one, and this might throw off the edges, but I'm going to go from center because center is always the most accurate anyways. And you're going to line it up as close as possible to that X there in the center. I'm going to click on that. Your machine's going to go over and focus on that spot. This is essentially what they wanted to do. This is why it helps to leave the instructions up, but I was just going off of memory here. And luckily I caught myself at the very end. So let's go ahead and wait for that to focus. It looks like it's already ready, and I'm going to zoom back out just so we can see the whole thing here. And now I'm going to hit print. So essentially what that autofocus does is it just measures your material thickness, because each thickness could be off by just a little bit, even if it's like 0.001 inches. It'll measure that thickness for you now. So let's go ahead and get started now. Sorry for wasting your time there. And since it already calibrated last time when I hit print and we did the autofocus, it went straight to the print this time. It looks like 1 minute and 48 seconds. So I'll see you when this is done. Alright, you guys, that's going to focus the head, and as you can see, this machine was already pretty accurate before, but it was definitely off by a little bit. But now it's looking pretty good to me. I mean, that's pretty close to dead on everywhere. This is even more accurate than the other machine that I calibrated. And the reason why the other one might be off by a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. The other machine is literally like maybe right at the very tip of this, so you can actually see kind of a ghosting overlap effect just on the edges, but in the center it is dead on, just like this one here. But this one appears to be almost dead on everywhere. We're going to zoom in here and see if we can even see a difference. So this is 300% zoomed in. Yeah, so if we zoom in to 500%, you can kinda see that, but honestly I feel like that's just the darkness of the engrave itself that's causing that effect there. I mean, that's pretty close to dead on, you guys. So let's go ahead and zoom out just a smidge, and I'm gonna move over to these edges to see how much those are off by. Now these, as you can see, this is the very farthest edge possible. And you have just a smidge of a ghosting, but barely any at all. None that you're going to actually tell on the design you drop it on or the material you drop it on. if you're actually getting all the way up to that top edge anyways. And let's go ahead and zoom down to these other ones here. So same thing here, just a very, very slight ghosting effect, and I feel like a lot of that's camera blur. And we're going to go all the way over to the other side, because the sides do matter. And as you can see, this one does appear to be off a little bit, but that could be some camera blur as well, like I was talking before. And even if it is off by that much, if you're lucky enough to get a material that has to go down that far, it's not going to be that big of a difference to make a life or death change with that small of amount. This is so much better, you guys, than it used to be. This one, same thing, just a slight ghosting difference here, but barely at all. And that's good enough for me. I hope you guys enjoy this video and this helped you out. If you haven't ran this calibration test yet, as you can see, it is great. Do it now. It's definitely worth your time. Even if you have to flip it over, deal with the sticker issue that I had to on the other one, it's still worth the time to do. It makes things so much easier. Thanks again, you guys. Hope you liked the video, and we'll catch you next time.